So hello and welcome to my adoring fans. Today I will be doing a bit of a different video for you. Today I'll be going through the Fighting Fantasy game book, The Citadel of Chaos. So I was sort of inspired to make this video by sort of learning that personally interact on Twitter a lot with Dr. Graham Botley. He's an immunologist and a sheep farmer. He also owns a production company which is currently making remakes of this game, of these game books. So I thought I'd go through one on this channel to make a bit of variety. So this one I haven't ever gone through before, so we'll get to see the it's a blind playthrough as it were, so it's going to take multiple attempts to get through it. So I will then start right now. So deep inside the Citadel of Chaos, the dread sorcerer Balthasar is plotting and scheming the downfall of the good folk of the Vale of Willow. His battle plans are laid, his awesome army equipped, and his attack is surely imminent. Summoned by a desperate plea for help, you are the Vale of Willow's only hope. Star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore and a master of magic, only you can undertake a mission which strikes at the very heart of Balthasar's nightmare world. Who knows what monstrous creatures await you in there? Steve Jackson has created a thrilling adventure and sword and sorcery for you, with an elaborate combat system, a dazzling array of spells in use, and a score sheet to record gains and losses. All you need is 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only chance is kill or be killed. Steve Jackson is the co-founder with Ian Livingstone of the hugely successful Game Workshop chain. So, yep. So I'll talk a little bit about this. So this, the art of these books, because I got them when I was in school, was a big inspiration in my GCSE art project, from which I got a B in. So yeah, the remake of this has the original artwork in it as well. It was chosen to keep that in, and that's a really good, important thing. So it's the cover again. Okay, so there's the type. Okay, well, at least, the pages are a bit higher quality now. So we'll go through the instructions. So you're the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore. You have a knowledge of magic which is not perfect, but with a little luck will be adequate for this quest. You have in your possession a sword, and you are well practiced in swordplay. You are quite fit, and you have been exercising to build up your stamina. As in the Warlock of Firetop Mountains, that's the first book of the series, you must first determine your own strength and weaknesses before setting off. Readers of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain will be familiar with most of the following rules, but are advised to skim through them, as there are some points where the two books differ because of the use of magic in Citadel of Chaos. Okay, first of all, you must use the dice to determine your initial skill and stamina scores. On pages 20 and 21, there is an adventure sheet by which you may use to record the details of your adventure. I will be doing it in a Word notepad document instead. So yeah, you'll find boxes for recording your skill and stamina scores. Roll 1 dice, add 6 to this number, and enter this in the total skill box. And so I'm going to be rolling the dice off screen, so you'll have to just trust me. I might get a chucker for later episodes. So if I roll the dice 2, okay, so that gives me an 8 for original skill, because you add 6 to it. So that gives me an 8 for the initial strength. Oh no, it's not strength, it's skill. Okay, yeah. Potato, but okay, yeah. So not a great roll, only a 2, but live and learn. Roll both dice and add 12 to the number to your stamina. Okay, 8. So that gives me 20 original stamina. So that's relatively decent. There's also a luck box. Roll 1 die and add 6 to this number and enter this total into the luck box. Okay. 1. Okay, so not very lucky. So that gives me 7 luck. So all in all, pretty trash rolls, but that won't really matter because you're just sort of exploring the area on your first few run-throughs anyway. So yeah. For reasons explained below, skill, stamina, and luck score change constantly during the adventure. You must keep an accurate record of these scores, and for this reason you're advised to either write boxes or write small in the boxes or keep an eraser handy. Never roll about your initial scores, although you may be awarded initial skill, stamina, and luck points. These totals may never exceed your initial scores, except on very rare occasions where you've been instructed on the particular page. Your skill score reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, and your determination and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you'll be able to survive. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Not very in this case. And magic are facts of life in Fantasy Kingdom you are about to explore. You'll often come across pages in the book which instruct you to fight a creature of some sort. So this is the battle section. Option to flee or use magic spells may be given, but if not, if you choose to attack the creature anyway, you must resolve the battle as described below. First, you need to record the creature's skill and stamina scores on the first vacant encounter spot on your adventure sheet. The scores for each creature are given in the book each time you have an encounter. The sequence of combat is roll dice once for the creature, add its skill score. This total is the creature's attack strength. Roll both dice for yourself and the total roll to your current skill score if the total is your attack strength. If your attack strength is higher than that of the creature you have wounded it, the creature's attack strength is higher than yours, it has wounded you. If both attack strength are the same, you have avoided each other's blows. Start the next attack round. If you have wounded the creature, subtract 2 points from its stamina score. You may use your luck to have additional damage. I probably won't be doing it much in this case. If the creature has wounded you, subtract 2 points from your own stamina score. Again, you may use luck at this stage, see over. Make the appropriate adjustments to either your creatures or your own stamina scores or luck score if you use luck. Okay. Begin the next attack round by returning to your current skill score and then repeat the same steps 1 through 6. Next page. The sequence continues until the stamina score of either you or your creature has been reduced to 0. Escaping. On some page you may be given the option of running away from a battle should things be going badly for you. However, if you do run away, the creature automatically gets 1 wound in on you if you flee. This is the price of cowardice. Note that you may use luck on this wound in a normal way. You may only escape if the option is specifically given to you on that page. Fighting more than one creature. If you come across more than one creature in a particular encounter, the instructions on that page will help you handle the battle. Sometimes you will treat them as a single monster, sometimes you will fight them one in turn. At various times during your adventure, either in battles or when you come across situations in which you could either be lucky or unlucky. Details of these are given on the pages themselves. You may call on your luck to make this outcome more favourable, but beware. Using luck is a risky business, and if you are unlucky, the results could be disastrous. The procedure for using luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky and the result will go in your favour. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you have been unlucky and you will be penalised. This procedure is known as testing your luck. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 from your current luck score. Thus, you will soon realise that the more you rely on luck, the more risky things will become. On certain pages of the book, you will be told to test your luck and will be told the consequences of being lucky or unlucky. However, in battles, you will always have the option of using your luck, either to inflict a more serious wound on the creature you have just wounded, or to minimise the effect of a wound the creature has just inflicted on you. If you have just wounded the creature, you may test your luck as described above. If you are lucky, you can have inflicted a severe wound on the creature and may subtract an additional 2 points from the creature's stamina score. However, if you are unlucky, the wound was a mere graze and you must restore 1 point to the creature's stamina. Instead of scoring the normal 2 points, you have only scored 1. If the creature has wounded you, you may test your luck to try to minimise the wound. If you are lucky, you have managed to avoid the full damage of the blow, restore 1 point of stamina. Instead of subtracting 2, you only do 1. If you are unlucky, you have taken a more serious blow, so subtract 1 extra stamina point. Remember that you must subtract 1 point from your own luck score each time you test your luck. Restoring skill, stamina, and luck. Your skill score will not change much during your adventure. Occasionally, a page may give you instructions to increase or decrease your skill score. A magic weapon may increase your skill, but remember that only 1 weapon can be used at a time. You cannot claim 2 skill bonuses for carrying 2 magic swords. Your skill score can never exceed your initial value unless specifically instructed. You may only restore 1 skill by using a skill spell. Okay. Stamina. Your stamina score will change a lot during your adventure as you fight creatures and injure yourself. You may only restore stamina by casting a stamina spell using magic if you are well advised to ensure that you include several stamina spells in your original choice of spells. Remember also that your stamina score may never exceed its initial value. Additions to your luck score may be awarded for the adventure when you have been particularly lucky. Details are given on the page of the book. Remember that, as with skill and stamina, your luck may never exceed its initial value. You may otherwise restore your luck score by using magic spell. See using magic. Okay, using magic. In addition to skill, stamina, and luck scores, you may also determine your magic score in a similar way. Okay, roll 2 dice. Add 6 to the number rolled. Okay. 4. Okay, so that gives me 2 dice. So that gives me 10. Magic. 10. These rolls have really been trash. Okay, your magic score determines how many magic spells you may use during your quest. These spells may be chosen from the list following this section. After considering the spells available, enter your choices into the magic spells box and your adventure sheet. If, for example, you roll a 4 and a 3, your magic score will be 13, which means you will be able to use 13 spells during your adventure. From the list of spells given below, you may choose 13 spells as you please. Perhaps you would like to have 3 stamina spells, 5 ESP spells, and 5 fire spells. Or maybe you would prefer one of each of the 12 spells plus an additional creature copy spell. The choice is yours. Each time during the adventure that you use a spell, you must cross it off your list, even if it is not effective. If you have taken more than 1 of any spell, you must reduce the remainder available by 1 each time you use it. You will sometimes be given the option to use spells and find that you have not got them with you, or you have used them all up. In these cases, you may not choose these options. As you have no idea of the dangers lurking within the Citadel of Chaos the first time you enter, you will no doubt choose spells which will not be effective as you would like, but on subsequent adventures you will choose spells more wisely. Also, don't worry if your magic score is low. Even the lowest possible score could provide you with enough spells to produce your quest if you make the right choices. And I'm blessed with a little luck. Okay, magic spells. So I've got, let's say, magic spells list. Okay. Creature copy. This spell will allow you to conjure up an exact duplicate of any creature you are fighting. The duplicate will have the same skill and stamina sources and the same powers as its original, but the duplicate will be under your control of your will, and you may, for example, instruct it to attack the original creature, then sit back and watch the battle. ESP, with this spell you'll be able to tune into psychic wavelengths. It may help you to read a creature's mind or may tell you what's behind a locked door. However, sometimes prone to give misleading information if more than one psychic source is close to another. Fire. Every creature is afraid of fire, and this spell allows you to conjure up fire at will. You may cause a small explosion on the ground which will burn for several seconds, or you may create a wall of fire to keep creature at bay. Fool's Gold. This spell will turn an ordinary rock into a pile of what appears to be gold. However, the spell is merely a form of illusion spell. Although more reliable than the illusion spell below, a pile of gold will soon turn back to rock. That seems a bit specific. Illusion. This is a powerful spell, but one which is a little unreliable. Through this spell you may create a convincing illusion, e.g. that you have turned into a snake, or that the floor is covered in hot coals with which to fool a creature. The spell will immediately be cancelled if anything happens which dispels the illusion, e.g. you convince a creature that you have turned into a snake and promptly crack it over the head with your sword. It's most effective against intelligent creatures. Okay. Levitation. You may cast this spell onto objects, opponents, and even yourself. It frees receiver from the effects of gravity and will such cause the receiver to float freely in the air under your control. Luck. This spell, along with luck and stamina spells, is special in a way that may be cast at any time during your adventure, except in battle. You need not wait for a choice to appear on the page. Once cast, it will restore your luck score by half your initial luck score. If your initial luck is an odd number, half your initial luck score is deduct the extra half point. Okay, this spell will never take your luck over its initial level, thus if you cast 2 luck spells together, your luck score will only be restored to its initial level. Shielding. Casting a spell which creates an invisible shield in front of you will protect you from physical objects, e.g. arrows, swords, or creatures. The shield is not effective against magic and will, of course, if nothing outside can touch you, it will not be able to touch anything inside its. Skill. Half its initial value and can be cast during. Okay, stamina. Okay, this spell has strength is your strength greatly and is useful in battling strong creatures. However, it must be exercised with caution as it is difficult to control your own strength when it suddenly increases by so much. Strong creatures are reduced to miserable weaklings. For this, the weakness spell is not successful against all creatures, but when effective, those creatures become puny and much less challenging. So I've got 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 different types of spells. So what I think I'll do is I've got 10. I will take one creature copy. So I can break that out if I get into an intense battle. I'll take 1 times. Where's that? 1 times. I'll take 1 times the stamina. Just, to restore it. Because I'll be taking a lot of damage in the sort of first going through and guessing. I'll take 1 levitation. Yeah, I'll take one luck, 1 levitation. Yep, so that's 4 thus far. I think I'll take 2 fire. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 4 more to choose from. We'll go for 1x ESP. Right. what I'll do is I'll go for, because I'm weak, I'll go for another one of them to execute your copy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 2 more spells. We'll go for why not? So we'll go for illusion and okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's that done. Equipment. You start your adventure with the bare minimum equipment, a sword and leather armor. Okay, so let's go. Spells list, so then we've got to have items. Sword, leather, armor. Okay. Let's go. Lantern. Okay, lantern as well. Anything else? Okay, be sure to record all your finds in your equipment box so you eventually, when these are used in any particular encounter, the story will tell you whether that item is destroyed or left behind. If it's lost in your way, you must cross it off your equipment list and may not use it later in the adventure. Okay, so here's the, stuff, but we're using our fabulous document here, so we're not going to be using that. So now let's get into the lore of the game. I'll take a sip of water first. Okay. The lawful good folk of the Vale of Willow have lived for some 8 years in awe and fear of the demi-sorcerer Balthasar. So he's only half a sorcerer. Okay, didn't know that. In awe, since his power is truly awesome, and in fear ever since the word leaked from his domain that his ambitious plans of conquest were to commence within the Vale itself. A faithful half-elf sent on a spying mission to the Black Tower came galloping back to the Vale 3 days ago with a frantic warning. From the caverns of Kraken Rock, Balthasar Diam had recruited an army of chaotics and was preparing to attack the Vale within the week. The good King Salama, was a man of action. Messengers were sent throughout the Vale that day to prepare defences and to summon the menfolk to action. Riders had also been sent to the great forest of yore to warn the elves that lived there and to make an appeal for allied forces. King Salomon was also a wise man who knew well what the news would inevitably reach the Grand Wizard of Yore, a white sorcerer of great power who lived deep within the forest. The wizard was old and will not last through a battle of this magnitude. He schooled a number of young magicians, but perhaps one of his students in the magic arts, with courage and ambition, would aid the king and his subjects. You are the star pupil the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yore. He has been a difficult master, and your own impatience has often got the better of you. Perhaps a little too headstrong, you left immediately for Salomon's court. The king welcomed you enthusiastically and explained his plan. The battle could be avoided without bloodshed if Balthus were to be assassinated before his army could be amassed. This mission ahead of you is extremely perilous. Balthasar is surrounded in his citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. Although magic is your strongest weapon, there will be times when you must rely on your sword to survive. King Salomon has briefed you on your mission and warned you of the dangers that lie ahead. One way through the Citadel is the best for you to take. If you discover it, you will be successful with a minimum personal risk. It may take you several trips to find the easiest way through. You leave the Vale of Willow on the long hike to the Black Tower. At the foot of the Hill of Kraken Rock, you can see outline of the dark sky. Now turn over. Okay. Right, so we're at the front door and there's two guards. So you hear muffled grunting as you approach, and two misshapen creatures step forward. The sun sets, twilight turns into darkness, and you start your climb up the hill towards that forbidding shape silhouetted against the night sky. The Citadel is less than an hour's climb. Some distance from its walls you stop to rest, a mistake as it seems, a fearful spectre from which there is no escape. The hairs on your neck prickle as you look towards it, but you are ashamed of your fears. With grim resolve you march onwards towards the main gate, where you know the guards will be waiting. You consider your options. You have already thought about claiming to be a herbalist or to treat the guard with a fever. You could pose as a trader or an artisan, perhaps a carpenter. You could even be a nomad, seeking shelter for the night. As you ponder your possibilities and the yarns you would have to spin to tell the guards, you reach the main trail up to the gates. Two lanterns burn on either side of the portcullis. You hear muffled grunting as you approach, and two misshapen creatures step forward. On the left stands an ugly creature with the head of a dog and the body of a great ape, flexing its powerful arms. Its opposite number is indeed its opposite, with the head of an ape and the body of a large dog. This latter guard approaches you on all fours. It stops some meters in front of you, raises itself on its hind leg, and addresses you. Which story will you opt for? So I think I will just... Okay, so herbalist, I don't really have any herbs on me. Right. So I will go for... So let's get our map screen up. So this is going to be ridiculously appalling, so I will... We are at the gate here. There's the gate. Gate. I'll take caps lock off. Gate. I'll also make the font a little bit smaller. Not that small. So there we are at the gate. So the notes are... So I will choose to be the herbalist. So gate herbalist is going to be the notes I write down there, and we'll see how it goes. So what I need to do is I need to turn to page 261 for the herbalist. Almost there. 261. The ape dog asks to see your herbs. Luckily, yeah, so, okay. Luckily, you grabbed a few handful of weeds on your way and you show them. Cocking its head to one side, the creature eyes you suspiciously. It asks you for the name of the guard you have come to treat. Something you hadn't planned on. You quickly think of a bluff to fool the creature with. Kiltrog, Pincus, or Blag. So Blag is sort of what we're trying to do now, so maybe I won't go for that. I will go for Pincus, so I'm going to write that down. So that was the option I chose. So 175. The creature has never heard of a Pincus within the Citadel. The ape dog holding a mace growls and steps forward. You may quickly choose another name to turn to 110 or prepare to fight them. So I will go for 110, prepare another name. 110. Right, test your luck. If you are lucky, you use another name which is familiar to them and they summon the gatekeeper, who eventually appears to let you in. If you are unlucky, this was another poor guess and they advance towards you with their weapons at the ready. So luck is 7. Let's roll. 2 dice has to be less than a 7. It's an 8. So it's a fail. So I'm going to write down Gate Herbalist Pincus was wrong. So actually what I'll do is, So now I'm fighting. So in order to fight, so I need to also degrade my luck by 1 because I tested it. So luck goes down to 6. I will bracket the original values actually, just to make it a bit simpler. So already fumble my way into a fight right at the gate. So you will have to fight them to 88. To 88. Okay. The 2 creatures advance. The ape dogs attack you first, followed by the dog eye. Will you cast a spell or stand and fight? So strength or levitation. Okay, so I don't have a strength, I have a levitation, but I don't really think I will use it because I don't see how it's going to do anything for me. So right, I'm stronger than them, so you may fight them 1 in turn. Okay, so let's early way to showcase the battle mechanics here. So 7-4 is my first battle. So you fight them 1 at a time. So 7-4. Okay. So we'll go strength. Go for my strength. And we'll go for enemy strength. Okay. So now let's roll the dice for my strength. Okay, so a good roll. 9. So that's 8 plus 9. Enemy strength. So 10. So that's 17. So it's a draw. Yeah. So first roll was a draw. So mine is 7. So that's 8 plus 7. 8. So it's, another draw. Eight plus 4. 7 plus 8. So so I'm going to take a hit here. So I'll just take the standard hit, go down to 18. I should win because I'm technically stronger, but okay, snake eyes, wow. 1 in 32 chance if it happens, 8 plus 2. Yeah, I've lost that 7 plus 7, so I'm going to take another hit. Really not going well. Okay, mine is a 5. 8 plus 5. Here we are, 7 plus 5. He takes damage, so he goes down to 2 health. I roll a 6, so 8 plus 6. He rolls a 12, so I take another hit. Wow, this is not going well. I roll a 4. He rolls a 2, so yep, so he has hit 0 health, and so the first enemy is down. So now we've got 6/6 enemy to roll up. So we've got 6. We've got 6. 6. Okay, let's get on with this combat then. So I roll a 6, so 8 plus 6. Six plus 2, so that's definitely a hit for me. I roll a 6, so again 8 plus 6. A 7, so yeah, so that's a hit for me, so that's 14 versus 30, so yeah, another hit for me. So I roll an 8, 8 plus 8. It rolls a 6. So yeah, enemy down. So let's see what's going to happen now. So if you kill them both in battle, turn to 32, 32. Stepping over the bodies, you approach the gate and call the gatekeeper. Hiding in the shadows as he approaches, he sees the bodies and comes out to investigate, whereupon you nip inside the gate and lock him out. Clever. Yep, so I'll write down here on Ganser. Right. Okay, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. You walk forward into a spacious open courtyard surrounded by large walls. Various lights, so we're in a courtyard now, so that's the gate. Gives way to a courtyard. Courtyard. various lights are burning, and groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. In the centre of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Looking across the yard, you can see what appears to be a main entrance to the tower. So, alright, so shuffling around the darkness, and centre you see. What I will do is I think it will give me more information if I sort of try to talk to the groups. Maybe someone can help me. So I'm going to go 321, talk, so I'll go courtyard. Talk, approach large groups. So yeah, one of the groups, 321, 321, 321, 321. Cautiously and keeping well out of sight, you creep through around the darkness around the edge of the courtyard. There are two groups of creatures in front of you. To the right, you see two human-like figures talking under a torch fastened to the wall. To the left, a group of four creatures of varying shapes and sizes sitting around the fire eating. So right, so I will go for, so I think I will go for the humans, because yeah, I'll go for the humans. So that's charge groups, humans. 269. Oh, wrong way. 269. Here we go. As you approach, you hear them arguing loudly about the price of a dagger. Maybe I could get my hands on that dagger. The two men are dirty and unkempt. As you approach, you hear them arguing loudly about the price of a dagger. The taller of the two is obviously trying to sell the dagger to the other. He argues the dagger is enchanted and worth more than the other is willing to pay for it. As you move closer, he grabs you by the arm and asks your opinion on what the price is worth. Right, so I'm thinking here. I'm thinking the seller might know more about stuff if he's got an enchanted dagger. So I could either be, just check that's plugged in properly. I could either be diplomatic, say 8. So I will go for 10 gold pieces. So I'll say 10. I'll try and get on the side of the seller. So I'll say max gold. Maybe instead of trying to please everyone. So I'll go 225. 225. He agrees entirely, so yeah, I'm getting on the side of the seller. The artifact is extremely valuable. The short man explains that he just doesn't have that kind of money and wanders off into the darkness. The tall man offers the dagger to you at a bargain price of 9 gold pieces. You may use a fool's gold spell to conjure up enough gold to buy the knife, or you may apologize. So I don't think I have a fool's gold. No, I don't. So yeah, so I don't have any gold myself. So that could be important later. So yeah, so max gold. So then option for fool's gold. don't have. So yeah, that's always good to know. So like always keep a note of what you've done in these games. So right, apologize and press onwards. 245, 245. Okay. So now we've got. You see a ghostly female face appears to what face inside what appears to be a whirlwind. Don't know why I couldn't speak for a second there. You set off towards the Citadel. Although the night air is calm, you fear a faint whistling, which rapidly gets louder and louder until a strong gust of wind suddenly hits you with such force that you can barely move against it. You shield your eyes until the blast retreats slightly, and as you open them, you see a ghostly female face in what appears to be a living whirlwind. She mouths words at you which you cannot make out, but some seconds after she has finished talking, the message reaches you. She seems to find your appearance offensive and is challenging you with words of abuse. You grab at your sword, but she laughs. Will you ignore her and continue? Talk to her, or use your magic to see her off? Right. So I don't really know. I'll look at my magic. Creature copy, stamina, levitation, fire. So yeah. Right. So yeah. So there may be more options later, but yeah, I'm thinking if I talk, it could get bad, but I think we'll go for it. So we'll go for just because I'm trying to search for information at this stage and explore all these sort of options. So tornado woman. I will then say talk. See if I can get her on side. Might not work, but let's go for it. 390. She begins to torment you, blowing you off your feet each time you rise. Test your luck. Okay, so my current luck is 6. So I roll a 7, so I'm unlucky and my luck goes down again. So 5. Okay, so unlucky 1, 2, 2. One, two, two. You try simple rules to fool her, but she does not fall for it. She will stop you from getting any further unless you use your magic. Turn to 47. Okay, 47. 47, 47. What spell will you use? Creature copy, illusion, or levitation? Okay, so I'm going to use creature copy. So unlucky. And then I'm going to use the creature copy because. Yeah, so I'm going to go use 1. Right. So there we go. Creature copy. So turn to page 8. She watches in astonishment as an exact duplicate of herself appears between the two of you. She backs off a little and you instruct your creation to attack, As they get close to another, a strange thing happens. They seem unable to get close to each other, like two spinning tops, and keep bouncing apart. But your copy has at least forced the creature back a distance away from you, and you enter the Citadel's main entrance. So, okay. Right, so, yeah, so back to main entrance, okay. So, yeah, so I will add here, I'll just say some form of path. I don't know what direction it's in. I'll just add some form of path, with our, what did I write here? Tornado woman. Okay, that's a good enough name, isn't it? So I think that's what I'm sort of supposed to be writing down on the map at this point. Okay, back to the thing. Alright, yeah, so I was on number 8. So 218. 218, 218, 218, 218. 218, okay. In front of you is a large wooden door firmly locked. You may either knock 3 times for the guard or use a strength spell to try and open it. So I need to throw in a somewhere in the courtyard. Yeah, pencil. Okay, so what I will do is I will drag this down all the way here. I will extend it like massively down and across as well, just to sort of make it a bit easier. Because these maps can get quite big in this game. Because I've done one before, so yeah, here we are. So here we are at large wooden door. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I don't have a strength spell, I believe. I have a weakness but not a strength, so I'm going to have to be forced to knock for the guard. So it's going to be 118. Okay, here we are. So the guard has appeared. The door opens and a huge brutish creature steps out. It has sharp horn in the middle of its forehead and its skin appears to be armor plated. It grunts to ask you what you want and demands to pass the password before letting you in. Do you know the password? If so, turn to 273. If not, you will have to bluff your way in. So I do not believe I have got any password. Maybe that was from one of the other groups you could get it from, but I do not have a password at this current time. So 198. If you do not have a password yet, 198. Okay, you think quickly. You reach into your bag and pull out a handful of weeds. Showing them to the creature, you explain that you are a herbalist and have come to treat the Lord's librarian. So it was a soldier before, now it's the Lord's librarian, who's critically ill. The messenger never told you any of the passwords. Will he believe you? Test your luck. If you are lucky, he believes you and let you in. If you are unlucky, he doesn't care who you are, and you may not enter. Okay, yeah. So let's test the luck again. So let's roll. It's going to have to be low. 7. Okay, and my current luck is not lower than 7. My current luck is now 4, so this is not going well. So he turns towards me with his pike. Turn to page 290. 290. Okay. The Rhino Man steps forward and jabs at you with his pike. You leap quickly out of the way. Although it's not wearing armor, its thick hide looks protection enough. You must decide whether to take it in combat or use your magic. Will you draw your sword or try a spell? Because he's probably going to be quite strong, and I'm quite weak. I'm going to use my weakness spell. So used. Match 1 door. Did not know password. Maybe from other. Yeah, I'll just write down it. Maybe from another group. Maybe from another group. Yeah. Okay. Right. So click here. Yeah, and I used my, just to make sure, I used my weakness spell. So a weakness spell, 307. 307. As you cast the spell, the creature lunges at you and clips your arm with its pike, so lose 2 stamina points. 12. Then the weakness spell takes effect. The creature slows down, starts puffing and panting. You draw your sword and advance to finish him off. Okay, so it's 4-7. This should be an easy fight even for us. Four, 7. Okay, so I've got such an advantage here. My strength is 8 plus 9. Plus 4 plus 7, so that's an obvious hit for us. Goes down to 5. We get a 6. He gets a 9. Okay, so it's 13 versus 14, so that's still a hit for us. Yeah, 13 versus 14. Right, so we get 10. Fantastic. 4, so obviously, yeah, that is definitely, he goes down to 1 health. We get a 6. A 9, okay. So that's 13 versus 13. That's neutral. We get a 9. A 10. So I'm definitely better, so that means he's on -1, so he's gone. That was an easy fight. So then go here. So 177. 177. 177. So now beyond the door is a narrow hallway. So let's get on a map. So that leads to narrow hallway. Narrow hallway. This continues for several meters and ends in a doorway. Right, so I'll draw the doorway on. Fantastic drawing. That wasn't actually bad, actually. This continues for several meters, isn't it? So I'll highlight which one I'm on, makes it a bit easier. You're in a narrow hallway. This continues for several meters and ends up in a doorway. Halfway along the passage, you can see an archway where some steps lead downwards. We go forwards, so yeah. So I need to draw. Going to have to draw for the first time now some steps. So I'll just say they're going off this side. So I'll just draw. And then there's steps. So I think I'll go the sneakier route and go the steps because I've been being very overt this whole time. So I'll go creep down the steps 3, 4, 4. 3, 4, 4. 3, 4, 4. Yeah, 3, 4, 4. You follow the stairs downward. The air is cool and stagnant. At the foot of the stairs is a door. Will you try the door or climb the stairs again and go to the front door? So yeah, so now the steps terminate in another door. So we need to draw that other door on. Fantastic. So we'll go to the... So we are going to go to the narrow hallway. We went to steps. Then we're going to try the door. We might need a key, but so yeah, so we are going to, will you try the door? So we're going to go to 7 to try the door. Seven. The door is locked. You may try to break it down by charging with your shoulder, or you may cast a strength spell to wrench the door off its hinges. So, right, okay, so yeah, I'll write this down too. So, door locked, possible strength. But I don't have it, so looks like we're going to have to bust it down with our hinges. Yeah, don't have strength, so right, so I'm going to have to 268, 268. As you hit the door, the wood cracks a little but does not give. You try again, and this time the wood splits down the middle. You break your way to... Okay, so... Alright, so using the strength spell is unnecessary there, okay. Strength, I'll write that down. The door breaks down on its own. That's nice. Bit of info. 210, 210. Okay, so got another picture here. You now stand in a large round room. It is lit by a single torch. Fixed to one wall, there is no furniture in the room, save for a rough wooden table and chair in the centre. So we're going to call this. Going to draw the room. Looks like it's a small. Okay, that's not a small room. Yep. So I'm going to call this table room. There we go. Okay, let's see what's going on in table room. Fixed to one wall, there is no furniture in the room save for a wooden table and a chair in the centre. Hovering in the table, fast asleep, is a very small man dressed in a green shirt and pantaloons. He cannot be more than a metre tall, and you cannot believe he is still asleep after your noisy entrance. You hear a creak and turn to your right to see a small catapult-fire missile of sorts straight at you. It's going to hit you unless you use a shielding spell. Okay, so do I have a shielding spell? I don't, so 3, 5, 9. So I'll score here 3, 5, 9. Okay. You try to duck, but you cannot afford the full impact of the missile, which hits you on the forehead and splatters all over your face. You brace yourself, perhaps waiting for acidic reaction to take place, but the mushy liquid merely droops off your face onto the ground. Cautiously you test it, first with your finger, then with your tongue. You've just been hit by a ripe tomato. You turn yep. So then, possible shielding. It appears to be unnecessary unless as tomato juice. So it looks like it's a bit of a funny character, more so in the room. Right, so where were we? Yeah. Ripe tomato, turn to 29. 29. Here we are. Cautiously you approach the little man. As you get close, the single eye opens and looks you straight in the face. A wide grin spreads between the creature's ears, and he disappears. Good morning to you, says the chirpy little voice behind you, and swivel around to see him standing there still grinning. I'm Seamus, the leprechaun, he chuckles, and holds his hand out to you. He seems friendly enough. Will you shake his hand? Yeah, he seems like a funny character, not really a threatening character, so I'll go to... I will shake hand. Right. 2, 7, 1, 7. Okay, you grasp his hand and introduce yourself. And cry out as his nerves go down your arm, numb. Seamus bursts out. Use 1 skill point. Okay, that's what I really did not need. Now I'm even weaker. Okay. So... Right. Yeah. You lose as you're using it. You are becoming a little angry, but the man continues to shake your hand and laugh. A laugh comes from behind you, and you look to see him floating in the air, grinning and still shaking his hand in front of you. Or are you? In fact, now you realise you are frantically shaking hands with the stuffed dummy, which is flopping around on the end of your arm as you shake it. You throw it to the ground, but he's stuck to your hand. The situation is ludicrous, and you're becoming very angry. Just a little joke, says the leprechaun, and snaps his fingers. The dummy disappears. Now what can I do for you? Will you ask him the way onwards, or draw your sword? let's go for way onwards. See if I can get any information out of him. I probably can't, but so 3, 4, 8. 3, 4, 8. Oh, I shouldn't go this way, says Osamus. These are not pleasant parts. These 3 doors are the only way onward. 2 of them are very dangerous and the other is very smelly. On the opposite side of the room are 3 doors. One has a brass handle, one has a copper handle, one has a bronze handle. Right. So what I'm going to do is, because he's a prankster, I'm going to ask him which way to go and maybe then go against him. So we'll go for ask his advice 68. Which would I take, A? He muses. Let's see. I will not take the 2 doors to the left of the copper-handled one, nor the door to the right of the bronze-handled one. Okay. Okay, which one would I take, A? He muses. Right, okay. Maybe I should have been paying more attention, which... So I think he's just sort of like trolling me, so... So I think the answer is going to be... So I will just go for... I'll just sort of guess, so I can write down. I will go for trial and error ingot, so we'll go for bronze. Go for bronze as the sort of trial and error option. Because there's a lot of trial and error in these games. So bronze 3, 5, 4. 3, 5, 4. Okay. You open the door and step into a room, go to the left, that annoying creature behind, turn to 188. 188. A sudden intense flash of light spurts out in front of you. You shield your eyes and rub them, but you cannot see. Panic hits you as you hear a low growling noise. Padded footsteps come closer and cry out in pain as this unseen creature roars and embeds sharp teeth in your leg. So that gives me a... So that gives me a creature. Taking bronze. So we're going to have to... So we don't have a strength or a weakness, so we're going to have to go to 51. Not that one, 51. You slash about madly what you saw, but you cannot hit the creature. Either it is extremely quick or has no solid body for you to keep. Its teeth are now tearing at your flesh and you can feel blood on your leg. You have to protect yourself magic or face certain death from an unseen creature. Will you cast a strength spell or a weakness spell? If you cannot or will not cast either, turn to 280. So I do not have either, I believe. Yep, don't have either. So I'll have to go to 280. 280. creature is savaging you mercilessly and you're powerless. Your love is covered in blood and the pain is sickening. To know how you struggle with the unseen head. You are in agony. The creature lunges at your neck, and your last memory, before losing consequence of its jaws clenching, closing around your throat. 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. You wake and look around. As your memory returns, you're amazed that you can see. Your leg feels tender but is uninjured. You hear a small chuckle coming from above you, and suddenly the whole thing makes sense. Floating above you is O'Shamus, now laughing loudly. The whole thing has been one big practical joke. Okay. Practical joke. Okay, so yeah. I will just go onto a new line to make it easier. Yeah. Okay. The whole thing has been one big practical joke. You are enraged and leap to your feet, but as you glare at the funny little man rolling around in his search, you can't help but see the funny side. 2. You chuckle, then giggle, then laugh loudly. For some time, the two of you roll with laughter until tears run down your faces. When you are able to control yourselves, you eventually settle down to a little chat. He's a pleasant little man. Before you leave, he says, "Indeed, you are a good sport, but the way ahead is fraught with danger, though. Perhaps these will help you." With a wave of his hand, and a sword and a plate appear on the table. Your sword is a magic battle sword that will add 1 point to your dice roll when throwing your attack strength. The plate is a silver mirror of fine workmanship. You may take this with you, but you have to leave your old sword behind. Okay, so bronze is what I'll just do. I'll say bronze is ultimately good. Yeah, so as you gain, so it's going to be so I'm going to have a so I'm going to take a magic sword and a silver mirror. So that goes to my items. So magic sword and silver mirror. So I get a bonus to my strength of 1 in all battles because when throwing attacks to the place affects silver mirror fine workmanship. You take this with you, but you'll have to leave your old sword behind. So bronze was good. So let's go to what I think what it may be a bit funny here is so I will choose copper 144, so that now I will try. So I'll say magic sword, silver mirror here. Yep. So let's try copper 144. Yeah, so 144. Here we are. So the door opens and you enter a narrow corridor. You follow it for some time until you finally come to another door. This is a wide carved door with the inscription of wine cellar set into it. You try the handle and it opens. Poking your head around the door, you can see rows and rows of racks full of bottles. So I'll say copper. So yeah, I will say. So what I will do is I will do this, and I will say copper wine cellar. I will shrinking it and lengthen it. Yep. There we are. So you've got one way out there. So what I think I will do is I think I will do one more option. Actually, I think I'll leave it there for this episode. So this has been one, I've gone round a bit. I've gained some intelligence as to what happened. I think that silver mirror may be important later on in the story. So I will leave it there. I will write down I'm currently on page 144. So I will save that for tomorrow or whenever I pick this back up. So anyway, yep. So you have been my adoring fans, and I have been Dr. Ivermectin.